Okay, so now let's start implementing how to reset the attack combo functionality. We'll still implement it using C++ code, but using C++ code will be a bit cleaner. Let's go to what we prepared for you earlier, something like this. This is called, let me check. Notify, here we are. Here we will create a ResetCombo notification. Then in the notify state, we will make a judgment for the next attack. Detection determination. Okay, now let's refresh the project. Okay, then we come here to our animation notify. Then we write, let's write the first reset combo first, because the reset combo is simpler. Then we write it here. Change the name first. Okay, so here, in this place, let's also bring over the same file, reflection. Then it's animate notify, 11 from animation. Click in and take a look. If you can't click in now, don't worry about it. Then we'll just copy it over here. This animation notify. I wonder if everyone has written this C++ version before. Actually, they are more or less the same. You can see in this place. Where is its location? It is obviously in our engine. And then in our... This is CPP. We need to go back to the same file. In engine class. Under animation, because it is an engine class, it is under the class. So you can directly go from animation to animation notify. Then in notify, just on notify, and you are done. You see, he also wrote a lot of animation notifies for you. So there are some methods in here. You can modify its color effects. There are quite a few. Okay, so let's leave it alone. Go back here. After we finish writing, we will create here the implementation of its various functions. And then in this place, we need to include the two classes and components we need to use. Okay, no problem. And then here, notify lim, we just directly remove a negative class. Just ignore it. Okay, then for the notify here, we need to handle it. This notify, handling it is also quite simple. It actually calls the parent class first. After calling the parent class, we go get we use this mesh. Because this mesh component, it is actually a component of skeletal mesh. Then we use its outer parameter. We get this character and just convert it. Then we go get our component. Then we directly reset combo index. At this point, we can set combo index to 0. Then you just need to attach this notify to the end of the montage. At any time, then whenever this is executed, it will reset our combo state index to 0. Okay, so it's quite simple. Then we come back to our notify. So this one might be a bit more complex because it's a notify state. So it has a relatively long state. It seems we route the direction wrong. This should be the wrong direction. If the direction is wrong, let's adjust it because having the wrong direction is not good. This should be notify. This should be NotifyState. Okay. Then let's check if our build source is correct. Let's take a look. Notify. Actually, you'll notice here we didn't write the notify in state folders. It shouldn't matter either. Because this thing is only used in Blueprint, our CIA won't include it. So it's okay not to write this path. Now let me refresh the project. Okay, actually, we've already refreshed it. And you can see basic, everything is covered. It's not normal either, but we'll rewrite one here. It might have issues. And these methods, they're actually all in the parent class. These are overridden method of the parent class. Just click into the parent class and take a look. We won't go into detail about this. Then let's write our ResetCombo detection. Such a class, because it has something quite important. It needs us to turn off our current ability and then trigger our second stage ability. So it's a bit more complicated. Okay, same as before. Let's go to our complex location. First of all, still need to include this corresponding header file. After the include is complete, we can just write it directly here. Because it is a state, so it has three methods: begin, and tick. These are all copied from the parent class. Nothing much to say. Then we create its implementation here. Okay, then here, when we begin, we call its parent class. That should be fine. Okay, after calling its parent class, then we need to check it. Our current this match combing thing, its alter must also exist. Its gate water must also exist. Then let's take a look. Then here, we do it this way. Let's write it like this here. Let me explain to you what this means, because sometimes we may need to avoid crashes. First, this character must exist. Character must exist. You can definitely get this world. After you get the world, also for this match component, its network mode cannot be dedicated server. Why can't it be dedicated server? Because we must make sure it is on because this is for input detection or input detection. It must be on the player side, on his computer, whether it is standalone or it is a client or it is a listen server. Anyway, it just cannot be a dedicated server, because a dedicated server, there is no such thing at all. The key detection function, so we will just block this part. Then we get our character. Then we get our main component. First, we take what we have and turn it off. Turn it off. That is, we must consider that we are in this call notification, say, between begin and under. There is this thing. This thing is pressed. We only then consider it can be used to perform this combo. This might be a bit complicated because it might be different from what we talked about earlier. That single hit, the single hit has 2 points. We just turned it into a state. Turned it into a long strip. Wait until we connect it. Then when we finish, when this combo detection ends, then it's still the same. We definitely cannot do this on a dedicated server because the dedicated server does not have the player's keyboard and mouse. Okay, so here we get our character. And then we check whether our current connection component is still in this pressed state. Because we already reset it earlier. If it is still in the pressed state, it means between begin and under, the player wants to connect the left mouse button function one more time. Then we let the character trigger this kind of combo level. So this combo level is another method we wrote because its trigger is quite special. It's the combo method. We need to do some simple processing. Let's go back to our character. It should be here. Yes, here we directly convert it to a character. Because only this character has these things. Then here, we need to prepare a combo method. Such a method. Let's create its implementation. Okay, then we also need to add something here. Here, when we activate our attack here, we need to give it a set price. Set price. Only then it will work. Let's see if this method of ours hasn't been written yet. We might not have written this method. We need to write this. A method to get this component of ours. So let's take a look. Did we not write this method in the parent class? It should be here. Here we should write one. A method to get this compound component of ours. And what this component returns. This is our parent class. We'll write this connection component in the parent class. No further steps have been taken here. This division. But it doesn't matter. Okay. Good. After having this method here in our character, let's jump through a few more classes here. We should be able to make it. We need to include the header file here. Okay, good. Here. That should be fine. It means we need to set press it because it has been pressed. Because when you click the mouse multiple times, we need to record this thing first. Let's check again. Why does it prompt here? Incomplete type. Let's take a look. Did we write it wrong here? Let's check again. It should be here. We didn't write IPG. Forgot, that's my fault. Okay. Alright. Let's suppress this here. This is where we activate the place for the tool stage attack. Then the writing here needs to be a bit more special. How to write it here? First, we must be the host proxy. We must be the host proxy to do this. Then we get our ability system. Let's stop this animation because we only want to stop the animation of his previous combo. I don't want to stop my other animations because this might involve skill interruption. To avoid introducing the concept of skill interruption at this point, we will directly stop the previous animation. So if it's the previous animation, then it will trigger a previous ability's ability. And at this point, we manually adjust this. Active metal function. Then if you remove it this time, you can successfully activate it. Okay. Alright, so we've basically finished writing it. Let's compile it now. We see there's a compilation error here. The reason for the compilation error is because this combo level, we seem to have set it to this. It's protected. So we need to unlock the permissions for this combo level. Okay, then let's restart it. It should work this time. Next, we need to add our animation notifications to the corresponding animations. Alright, let's find our animation is here. Let's first add a reset combo. Let's add a few more tracks. To avoid issues, pay attention to this montage group. This should be supported by Blueprint. So obviously at the end, we need to delete it again. Add a reset combo. Let's check here, right here. We'll place it at this position. Okay. So after we add it, let's first check the effect. We just need to click once. Because our combo is completely fine. Already tested. You'll notice. Now it can't combo anymore. Because after each animation finishes playing, it releases our combo state. That's fine. For example, let's add them all for now. Here, let's first add 2 tracks. We'll place them here. Okay, now that we're done, let's add a state in the second track. Should be less combo. As for the combo detection, let's take a look. We want it to be able to perform combo detection. When it reaches this position, as long as you press it during this period, it will jump to the second segment's function. Right? Okay, now let's try it. You can see. Right. Obviously, the first and second segments are smoother than the second and third segments. You can see, so you can feel it and adjust it yourself. But if I stretch this out, if I stretch it a bit longer, you can see you should be able to feel this, right? Let's put this thing here. We use the screen to fight. Okay, now let's configure everything. Content tool. And then there's one more detail. I want to emphasize again, this is Allegra. We don't care about it. Because there's one remaining detail. It's that after you do a lot of things, you'll discover that this thing has a super tricky pitfall. Okay, let's put it in the third section. also added to that. Okay, now let's try out the overall feel of this combo. Let's pause again. We feel this first segment is still a bit too long. It seems like we can't pull it back. Let's just pull it directly here. We'll just connect to the second segment right after the flight. You can see the connection feels much better now, right? Okay, and there's a detail here. You must set this queen to breach. You must change it to breach point. And these two things, why change them to this? Because this is more stable. If you use this queen, it can sometimes trigger, there will be that kind of desynchronization and coordination issues. It can cause you to sometimes, if you do damage detection logic in the animation notify, it can cause multiple detection logic. Look, it is load shootable, and this one is shootable. So we need to change all of them to this to avoid some problems. And actually, there is another place, that is here. Since we're on the topic, I still want to emphasize this to everyone because it's too important. Because if you don't work on actual projects, you might have absolutely no idea about this. Because no one in the industry talks about this. Only those true veterans with real industry experience would know it and would tell you, just like when we talked before about the ability system, why sometimes a place to initialize global data, why many places don't mention it. Simply because no one tells you. It's that simple. You only know it when you say it. It's something very low level like this. Then here in the character section, there is this setting. You need to pay attention. Especially these issues only occur when you are using a dedicated server. You will only know it then, because on a console or in a listen server or standalone situation, you won't have these problems. There is this option here. So what is the difference between these options? If you are on a dedicated server and you do not check this refresh buttons option and you attach your damage box to a socket, you will find that your damage detection is always incorrect. But it is on the console server, that is listen server, and stay on launch, just normal. Because it won't refresh the position of Google even though it is clearly hanging on the arm. This damage box is generated at the feed, and throughout the entire process, this damage box does not move. So what is the reason? And on your DS server, you have no rendering. You can only discover it through the logo. You will find that your focus is not moving because of the option here. So later, we will check this refreshing bonus. Let's check it now. Just check it directly now. So here, we emphasize these 2 points, which are very important points. Let's take 10 seconds to emphasize them because these 2 points are not, they are you. It's probably that no one will teach you. It has to be a game that is actually being developed. After doing this for a few years, they will tell you that there are pitfalls. Okay, as for the specific details, you can look deeper into it. So basically, here we have the online functionality for everyone. The first half is done. The logic for the later part will be easier for us to add on. You can see it's still quite good. Look, okay, so that's all for this lesson.